Hello and welcome to Hexed Encountered. I'm Joe. In this video we will be continuing our campaign playthrough of the game Nightfighter Ace from Compass Games and designer Gregory M. Smith. This is part 5. This is likely to be the final part. Just like part 4, this will be played on Vassal. And the plan is to move on to a different game after this one is completed. Despite how much I really enjoy playing this game, I do have other games that I want to have appear on the channel. So we're going to pick things up. If you haven't watched the previous episodes, you probably would want to, just to get caught up on what things, where things stand, how we're doing. We are playing as real-life German ace Hans Heinz Augenstein, and we're going to pick up our campaign here with the second mission in the month of October of 1943. The first thing we're going to do is roll 2d6 on the A1 raid chart, so we will do that right now. And we got an 8, and an 8 in October is Munich, so our target is in the Munich area, so we put our target on there. Okay, following our sequence of play, we rolled for our raid target. Now we roll 1d10 for the weather. We got a 1, that means good weather, so we move our weather to there. Now we move our aircraft from the takeoff box to the appropriate box, which is this guy right here. It's pretty far from the Netherlands to Munich in southern Germany, Bavaria, so we will have a short time in which to intercept the raid. Our moon for this particular mission is it's normal, so we don't have any modifiers. We just have a regular moon here, so it does not impact us at all. So now we have to check for our spoof raid. So we roll 2d6. We got an 8. An 8 is no effect, so there is no spoof raid. Next up, we would roll for random electronics failure, which I forgot to do, and only if it's a 12 do we have to worry about it, and it is a 7. So we do not have to worry about it. And the reason that is that if we bring in our crew card here, you can see that we have the electronics maintenance skill for our Funker, who is the radar operator. This is a 2-man aircraft. So our radar is operational, and only a random event, which is what you get when you roll boxcars with our 2d6 or a 12, would possibly change that. Okay, so now we're going to start rolling for interception. So our modifiers here, we don't have any for the moon. We get +1 for our operational radar set. So we will roll here, because you can see down here we have this Foog 202 radar, even though I don't have a status on it. That is what we do have. So we're going to be in here. We're going to roll 1d10 and hope for a number higher than 8 or higher because of our +1. We rolled a 6, so that is a no. That is no interception. We move to the next box. We roll again, and we got a 2, which is also no. So now we go to our landing. So on our landing chart, we don't get any. We don't have any. Well, we do have a landing skill. I should point that out. We do have the landing skill. He also has the aircraft skill. This is for our pilot, Hans Heinz Augenstein. As you can see on there, it says he has expert in BF 110. We purchased the landing skill along with the electronic maintenance skill in a previous mission turn, so that we have the ability to get a +1 or a -1 rather on our landing. So if we roll a 2d6, we roll anything other than a 12, we will land safely. And we rolled a 7, so we have landed safely. We will go back to our front there. I'm going to update my sheet here. I'm going to update the sheet. So we are in October 43.2. Right here you can see no modifier on interception. We did not. Our target, whoops, that's the aircraft. The weather up here was good. The target was Munich, not Kassel, Munich. And our notes, no intercepts. Whoops, not me. No intercepts. We'll now move on to October, third mission of October, which is bright. So we get a +1 on our die roll. That helps us intercept. When we get here, we will have to roll a D10 or a D6 rather to see if the British elect to not send a raid. So let me move this back off screen. And we'll go back to our raid chart. We will again roll 2d6. We got a 7. A 7 in October is Castle in the Roar area. So let's move this up here. Now we will roll for weather with our d10. We got a 7, which is good. 1 to 7 is good. And we know our moon gives us a +1. It is bright. And we have to roll for our random electronics. Again, only a 12. No. And now we will check our spoof raid. And that is a 10, which is lose 1 endurance box. So the Roar is right here, which is really close to the Netherlands, right? Our bases are here. There's the Roar, so it's very close. But we lose 1 because of the spoof raid. But now we would go back to attempting to intercept. And again, we're going to roll 1d10. We do get a +1 for the moon and a +1 for our radar. So we get a +2 on our die roll. We roll a 3, so that is nothing. Next roll is a 2, also nothing. Next roll is an 8. So that gets modified to a 10, which is an interception. So we do have an interception. So the next thing we do is we have to roll on the A3 chart to determine what aircraft we are attacking. It is a 6. A 6 in October of 43 is a Lancaster H2S. Okay, so the H2S is a radar set that some of the bombers were equipped with. And what it does in game terms is if the bomber has it and the Germans have a detection kit on their aircraft, they can use that to help them reacquire an aircraft using the Naxos 350 detection radar, which detects H2S emissions. So that's not going to apply to us because it doesn't matter. The BF-110 we're flying does not have the Naxos aboard, so this is pretty much a straight up Lancaster attack for us. So, as always, we will go with the Schrager as our first fire. We draw a card. It will be this one, and it is, it does not have, rather, the message that we don't get, and it's the one on the right. I don't know why it's showing us both, but it's the one on the right. The firepower for the Schrager is a 12, and you can see there that it says DE, which is destroyed. So we've shot down this Lancaster. That's the easiest shoot down I've had so far in this particular run through. So that's cool. It was not bomber stream, so it's not like we can go on to something else. We're gonna decrease our ammo by 1 because we only have 2 left. And we're going to advance to our next box and attempt another interception. So we will roll our d10 again, and we got a 4. That means nothing, so now we go to our landing. We do get a +1 on our landing, and we roll our 2d6 and get an 8. And our -1 for the landing skill makes it a 9. It doesn't really matter because a 2 to 10 is a good landing. So our aircraft has successfully landed, and now we would go and set up for our next mission. So as you can see here, I have already entered everything in. Here's our target. The raid was on Castle. The weather was good. We rolled an 8 with the +2. We ended up with an interception. It was a Lancaster equipped with H2S. We did manage to shoot it down. And that was the only thing we had going in that raid. So we will move on to October 43.4. So let's roll here. Let me roll my 2d6. We are still in October. We get a 9. And a 9 is Leipzig, which is the Berlin zone. So we move this all the way over here. That's going to put us to start in here. Right? Yeah, Berlin. So right here. And oops, I need to add this back to make it 3 again, because we're starting a new mission. Let's the moon for this mission is going to be full, so I have to roll a d6 to see if they actually go, because that is on our sortie log here. You can see +2 full if we get it. So on the down here, if it's a 1, so we roll, let me move this over. If we roll here and get a 1, we got a 6. So there is a raid, we get a +2 for a full moon. I need to roll weather, 1d10, an 8, which is poor. So that gives us a +1 on landing. And spoof raid, again, yeah, it's an 11, so we lose an endurance box. And again, we'll roll again now for electronics failure. If it's not a 12 and it's not, then we don't have an electronics failure. So now we're going to roll for intercept. So we roll our 1d10, we get a +2 for the moon, and another +1 for the radar, so it gives us a +3. A 3 is not going to get it done. A 7, however, does get it done, so we are going to have an intercept here. So let's figure out what aircraft we are attacking. We roll our 2d6 again, we get an 11. That is a Mosquito 9 equipped with H2S. Now, luckily for us, it's not a 12, which would have been a Mosquito 2 Nightfighter, which would have been a tough challenge for us. But the sad part about a Mosquito anyway is its speed. You can see the speed here. I hope you can see that. It says 18. And then over here, our speed is 17. So we fail to intercept because they outrun us. So we move to our next box. And we try again. And we rolled a 4, so that is nothing. And then we go for our landing. Now we do have a +1. Which mitigates our -1 from our landing skill. So we roll our 2d6 and we need a 2 to 10. And we squeak by with a 9. So that is another completed mission. So I will bring my log over so we can fill this out. So our raid was in Leipzig. Our weather was poor. We did roll for an interception. We got the Nightfighter, not the Nightfighter, the Mosquito. And then for our notes, I'm going to actually delete that, and I'm going to type too slow to catch Mosquito 9. And that is the end of that one. So we'll do another. We're going to reset here. We do get a +1 for the bright moon. We're going to go with our raid chart. We're going to roll our 2d6. We got a 12. That is Stuttgart. Stuttgart is in the Munich area. So again, that's going to be far away from us, and we're only going to have a brief chance to do anything there. The weather is a 9, which is bad. So that's going to add +2 to our landing roll. We'll check for our spoof raid. It is a 7, which is no effect. We'll roll for our electronics failure. It is not a 12, so we are good. And so we are ready to roll. This is now back to that. It's bright moon, so we get a +1 for that, a +1 for our radar. We roll, we got a 3. That is nothing. We get one more crack at this. And that is an 8. And an 8 + 2 is a 10. That is an intercept. So we will now roll to see what we got. We'll roll 2d10. We got a 7. A 7 is a Lancaster. So we get another Lancaster target. We will again go with the Schrager Music, and we will draw our card. And you are spotted. Schrager Music attack aborted. So our attack has been aborted. We do not have any time to go around for a second pass, so that ends up not being a good attack for us. We'll go to our landing, and we will roll on the landing chart, which is a 2d6, and we need a 9 or less, and we got a 9, so we did successfully land our plane. We go back to the target to the hangar, essentially. So our raid was Stuttgart, and our weather was bad. We did have an interception. Well, first we had no interception. I guess you could do it like this. Then we had an interception, and the target was a Lancaster, and our result was Schrager Music boarded. And that is the end of that mission. We'll roll on one more mission here to keep things going. So this is mission number 6 in October. It is our 19th mission. Maybe we'll do 20 total sorties if we can get there. So we'll begin by rolling for our raid. So we'll roll. Let's put this out. We'll move this out. And this goes to 0 for no moon, I believe. Yes, no moon. So we roll. Got a 6. That is Bremen, so we will go put this in Bremen, roll down here, this goes to the Bremen box, which is there. Next we roll for our spoof raid. We got a 5, that's no effect. We roll for weather, it's an 8 again, so we get bad weather again. The moon is 0, as we know, and now we'll roll for electronics. We got a 5, so that is nothing. So we are ready to roll for intercept. We have 3 tries. We get a +1, and we roll an 8. An 8 + 1 is a 9, so that is a successful intercept. Now we check our target. We roll 2d6. We got a 9. That is a Halifax equipped with H2S. So the Halifax is in this same group with the Sterling and the Lancaster and the B-17. And we will again use Schrager Music as our attempt here. The H2S again does not have an impact, so we draw a card. I guess I could just put it here. So unfortunately for us, we drew another Schrager Music aborted card. But in this instance, we do have the opportunity by advancing 1 to come around for a second pass. We have to roll a 1d6. And if it was a 1 or a 2, we would miss. This time we reacquired our target. So we're going to, again, let me reduce this. But we are again going to try a Schrager Music attack. And we got it, and it's group this time. So we will have to roll on bomber damage on group. So I've been doing wings. You have to do wings with the Schrager Music. So for group damage, we'll do, the wings are identical, so it doesn't really matter on the bomber damage chart. So we'll just say port wing, and we get a damage on the controls. And we get a damage, 2 damage to the engine, so we have to roll to see which engines those are, in or out. 1 to 3 is in, 4 to 6 is out. We got a 3, so that's in on the engines. So that would be, this is port, so that would be in, would be this one. And then we roll again, and it's a 3 again, so that means this is now in op. So one engine is out. Then we got 1 damage to the port wing, and 1 random, so we roll our d10 to see what our random is. We are aiming at a wing. We got a 10, that is fuel tanks. So a hit to the fuel tank is right here. When you hit the fuel tank, you also have to check for an explosion. or fire, which causes an explosion. And a hit on the fuel tanks makes you check chart B4, and we roll 2d6, and an 8 to 11 will be a fire, and a 12 is an explosion. We roll an 8, so that is a fire. Fire requires the crew to immediately bail out, which means that the aircraft is considered destroyed because a plane without a crew cannot fly. So that is a shoot down for us. And that would be a kill, so that's cool. We did, yep, we're good. All right, so let's enter this into our log here. So we have, raid was on, I can't remember. The raid was on Bremen, okay. Bremen, our weather, I believe, is bad. Our target, interception, and our target is Lancaster, and fuel tank hit, fire, crew bailout. Now we have 19 kills on our 19 sorties. It's actually only 10 for us, 9 he came in with. But we're doing okay. We're still at the marginal victory level. So we will move. Okay. Now let's get this back over here. And we move to our next box and attempt an intercept again. And we rolled a 6, so that is not going to be an intercept, because we have only a +1, which would make that a 7, and you need a 9 anyway. We roll to our landing area, and we do have a +2, just like before. We do have a -1 as well, so we have a +1 on our 2d6 roll. It's a 5, so that equates to a safe landing, and we land there, and the mission is completed. All right, so let's do our 20th mission just to give a nice round number here for this playthrough. So we're going to go to our raid chart. Let me increase this back. We'll reset all of this stuff here. This is going to be dark. That we don't know yet. We roll our 2d6. It is a 9, which is Leipzig again. So that is a Berlin target. Berlin is right here. We roll for the weather, which is at 1d10. It's a 3, that's good. Spoof raid, it's 5, no spoof raid. Electronics, it's a 9, no electronic failure. So we are ready to go here. So we have a -1 on our roll, so we're gonna have to roll really well. Actually, we need a base, it's a base roll basically. So we have to roll basically a 9 or a 10 because our +1 for radar is negated by the -1 for the moon. So we roll, we got a 2, that is nothing. We get a 7, also nothing. We get a 2, also nothing. And last chance for romance, 3, no. So we go to our landing chart again, and this time our weather is good, so we just need anything other than a 12, and we roll a 5. We have landed successfully. And we will do our log here for our 20th mission. It was Leipzig. Where is it? There it is. The weather was good. We got no interception. And let's put no intercepts. And that, my friends, is what we're going to say is the end here. We're one mission away from finishing October, and then we go into November. At the end of November, if we scroll down to point 8 here, we've got a promotion check at the end of November. But that's going to do it for this one. So again, please consider liking, sharing, and or subscribing like I always ask. Feel free to comment or ask questions, etc. If you have a suggestion for a solitaire game, feel free to let me know, and I'll, if I have it, then I will endeavor to put it into the mix here. If I don't have it, I might consider picking it up somehow down the road. But either way, suggestions are welcome. We've been on a bit of a Greg Smith roll here, so I'm probably going to go in a different direction for the next game. I don't know quite yet what that will be. I have multiple possibilities to consider, so I will, as I said, if you have suggestions, throw them out there, and maybe your choice will actually get chosen. But that's going to do it for now. As always, thanks for watching. I'm Joe. This is the Hexed Encounter channel, and until next time, happy gaming.